Yeah, do you remember anything about the chicken house? Do you?
Oh yeah, when we lived in the chicken house, there was 5 boys that slept in one bed, 4 across single wides, 1 across the feet. You know, so it had room. And I don't know what the girls did. I suppose you girls were the same way, weren't you?
Well, not in the chicken house because.
Oh, the girls weren't all. They're too small, but all the boys. And then later on, we moved out of the chicken house into this house here.
We had a lean-to.
Then we had a lean-to, and then we had a tent outside of it too. There was Joe and I, and who the hell was the other one? Oh, Ted slept in the tent, because well, we was the only one that could handle it, you know. But then after that, we graduated out of the tent, and then.
Well, at one time the lean-to did not have. It just had a dirt floor.
It had a dirt floor, yeah.
It had a dirt floor, so.
Yeah, it had a dirt floor. Mom always swept it though.
Oh yeah, it was clean, and.
So.
And actually, see, Mom, this part here was the kitchen that it had a wood stove, cast iron stove.
Right here, a chimney.
And so I was a lucky one. I got to stay home and cook on that wood stove because.
For all us dear children.
Yeah, because Mom sometimes she had to go out in the field and work. And I tried it one day. I said, oh, I want to work one day. I tried it one day and I thought, oh my gosh, I'll stay home and use hot stove and cook any old day, which I did. And so Mom, Pop, there was a divider there, and that was Mom, Pop's bedroom. And one time, actually, every time Pop would leave, one of us kids got to, they'd let one of us kids sleep with Mom. I mean, it was kind of
They never let me.
Well, no.
The girls.
Yeah, so it was kind of a treat. And I can remember going to bed because Mom, because being I was the oldest, I sort of helped get the boys up in the middle of the night to go to
Go pee.
Yeah, to go pee. And so Mom, she would be kind of special, so she'd sometimes have this little pieces of candy, and she'd go by and she'd slip me a little piece of candy under my tongue.
Oh.
Because I guess she thought I deserved it, since I had to
Get up, everybody.
yeah, get the kids and go pee.
Oh, wow.
Remember the time, John, that you said I couldn't put you to bed? And you were about in 7th grade.
Oh, probably 6 or 7, I don't know.
Yeah, and I actually was strong enough.
Yeah, but that's before you become a woman.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, that was before, but I was strong, really strong. And we didn't have any electricity till I was in the 8th grade.
Let's see, we got the electricity in 30, right before the war.
Now, during
The 8th grade.
I was in the 8th grade. I had to stand on the table.
Oh, that's right. See, what the hell was that?
Yeah, and because the light bulb,
Because
I tried to screw in the light bulb, and I
think
had my
electricity
hand,
came in here in 41.
and I had my fingers on the prongs, and I didn't know, and just about knocked me over. We didn't know anything about electricity, so.
Yeah, we didn't know what the hell. Then we'd pee on the electric fence out there just to see what the hell had happened. Boy! Me and Pete would go out there and we go,
John, do you remember the flies?
The flies?
How many flies we had?
Oh, Jesus! Mom used to come around with your rags and throw, and swat them and.
Well, she would put them on a stick and light with kerosene.
Oh yeah.
And go right underneath those E's.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't a fly or two. It was like black.
Yeah.
And she'd singe the wings off, and of course that'd kill them. And I remember one time. John was really being bad, and I said, I didn't write this in the book, but I just thought, being you and I are sitting here visiting about it. Remember the time that you wanted raisins, and so I mixed dead flies with raisins. Fed it to John. Now,
She made me mad, so she made me.
John was always making us mad. He would, and one time, I can remember the time he wanted to fly.
Fly? Oh, off the barn, you mean? Oh, I'd landed in the manure piles, which was soft, I'd put a cape on, I think I was Superman,
Isn't that something? all the things we
All the
do.
things, we didn't have nothing else to do,
That's right. But
No TV. I got it out of the comic book.
Ted and John and Pete, they worked.
Yeah, give me a
I
shot
mean,
at it.
They worked hard all the time, really hard.
Yeah, we had to work.
Yeah, they did. It really worked hard. And I was lucky. I never had to milk or anything. I just stayed
I had to
home.
milk them damn cows all the time. And your grandpa, that ass, he always got to take care. Oh, that's okay. No, that's fine. He took care of the cows and the calves. I mean, he had the calves suck the cows because he always said, I can't milk. My hands don't do it. He was a phony. So that was his job. He'd feed the cows, and I had to milk. Later on when Ted was gone, he was always working somewhere.
Ted worked. Yeah,
Oh,
he
Ted-
worked out.
Ted worked out most of the time.
Yeah,
It's
he
Pete and I
did.
had to stay home. Pete took care of the calves and stuff, and I took care of the milk cows with Papa.
Mm-hmm.
And Pete and I'd always cuss him. I said, "How come I can't?" Well, Papa said, "You're the milker. Pete's got to take care of the calves." I said, "Okay."
But Fran and Gert and Aggie were always little, and all they played. And I can remember they just have sticks, and they'd march around, be like pretend like they're drum majorettes, and just march around and play. They
Yeah, but they was young then.
That's why I said that. See, because I left home when I was 17.
Yeah, and I left when I was 18. So.
Yeah. Well, then John was gone though even in high school.
Yeah, I left. I went to school in Baker.
For what, 1 year, didn't you?
I went to school in Baker my freshman year, and I come back to Vale my sophomore year.
And that's when you were cheerleader.
That's what. Shut up. Yeah, that's when I was cheerleader my sophomore year.
Yes. And I was
My sophomore year.
Right. And I was cheerleader.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was just,
No. I was B string cheerleader.
Yeah,
I
B string.
wasn't A string. I was
No.
B string cheerleader.
And I was.
I busted
I
my.
was-
Shut up. I busted my leg in football. No, it wasn't in football. Papa told me to go out there and check them cows out there.
Yeah.
And he said, walk. And I didn't. I said, I'm going to take the horse. So I take the horse, the ropes out there, and the goddamn horse fell in a gopher hole, rolled over on top of me, and Mama said, that's your punishment. You broke your leg. So and then that ended my football season, so I had to go out for cheerleading.
And I was a senior. And I was a
I was a
cheerleader.
sophomore, see. I was a B string.
But we had fun though, didn't we?
Oh yeah, the only reason I did this damn cheerleading so I could go to all the games and meet all the girls, So what the hell?
You could, the bus came by, the bus picked us up,
Yeah.
and then even when I was a senior, the bus didn't come home from Vale; it stayed in town and then brought us home at night. But now the boys,
We always had to hitchhike.
home because I
Yeah,
was out
the
of,
athletic. They didn't have an athletic bus like
no,
they
I
do.
was out of school, before these. I was
Yeah.
2 years ahead of John,
Yeah.
so. And
But then I went to school to Baker my junior year.
I get up
Part of
to
my
that.
junior year, I got kicked out. Papa said, "What are you doing all that? I can't go back to Baker." So I finished school in Vale in my junior year and senior year. I went to school at Vale. But then that's how come I graduated at Vale. So I went a year and a half at Baker and 2.5 at Vale. What it amounted to.
Why were you kicked out?
Oh, never mind that.
Yeah, we don't
Well,
want to tell that. That's right. It's the little things. Like
The nuns, they don't want none, so I said, I didn't give none. No.
I hope.
We're telling stories, Mother. Huh?
Have you seen Joe?
Well, John was sick one year though, really sick.
Joseph.
And
Joe, oh.
John and you were sick,
Joseph went
and
home.
he sort of.
When are you coming home?
He had an illness.
We're being interviewed. Oh.
I'm sorry.
Okay, what?
Well, John, remember when you were sick?
Oh, I had St. Vitus dance.
Yeah. Now, John, I really.
That's what they call a nervous breakdown.
Right.
That's
and
what that was. No,
it was-
I'm not shitting you. It was a
He
nervous
really.
breakdown.
He did have a nervous breakdown, but how old were you, John?
Hell, I was a 7th or 8th grader.
Yeah, just a young kid.
When I had it, yeah. There was 3 of us in this country that had it. Philip Happy and Glenn Johnson and I. I don't know, for some reason.
Well, I think it was probably a virus, don't you think?
I
Because
think-
St. Vitus dance, I tell you, I looked it up and I think it was a virus, and
I think it was
like,
a polio. Well, then I think I had a sort of a mild case of polio too. I was fixing the fence out there. Papa had to carry me in, and I couldn't put my feet on the ground or anything. And they kept me in bed for I don't know, a couple months. You know, I think it was polio, a slight case of polio. I really do.
It was. It's
But we
really-
didn't go to the doctor. We went to the doctor. Yeah.
Yeah, because they're the ones that said that. But,
Yeah, we didn't know what the hell it was. You
but
know.
we had. Remember when we had all that snow
You know,
and we were quarantined?
we had scarlet fever.
I know it, and we had so much fun we weren't even sick.
Yeah, see,
We're
me and
never
it was
sick.
me and someone else that didn't ever get scarlet fever. We had to do we had to stay out of school. And,
But we had and it was just a big play day for everyone.
yeah,
But we had the measles when we still were in the chicken house, us
Here.
older ones.
I had the measles when I was
And
in
Mom,
the chicken house.
yeah, and I did too. And Mom, she at that time they kept rooms black. They put black curtains over it because they said when you get the measles, you know, you could lose your eyesight.
Well, you have a dark room is what you have for measles. The sunlight hurts screws you up some way. I don't know.
Yeah, and so
It does.
so it was really really interesting. And
Yeah.
then when we lived in the chicken house,
Here.
there.
Oh, the chicken house, the other house.
When we first moved here from Oklahoma, Pop had built that a new wood, and it was pretty, but we had cracks about this wide in the boards, and Mom had a beautiful set of silverware from Germany, and most of the knives it got stuck down in there, the cracks, lost them, and
They'd lose them in the floor.
yeah, Gert,
She lost her wedding rings down in the floor in the chicken house too, and they had to. See, I remember when they pried the boards up when Mom had lost her wedding ring in the chicken house.
it's,
And they dug it up. They jerked the board out and they found it. But they nailed the board back down.
when Gert came home from the hospital, we
Who?
still lived. When Gertrude came home from the
Oh.
hospital, we still lived in the chicken house. And
Yeah.
John was just a clever little boy. He was.
Oh yeah. No, Gertie was she was in her crib. You know, couldn't walk, couldn't run. So I had taken onion pipe. Oh yeah, this is something.
This
else.
like onion.
You know these onions.
You know
You know
those-
the seed onions.
But
So I'd fill my
join-
mouth full of water. Gertie, I'd know. Fill her mouth full of water. And she'd go, "Oh, little Mary had to save her life. I drowned her, damn near drowned her."
Yeah. Well, another
Jesus
time though,
Christ,
you put dust in one of the kids.
Oh, and Adley, another time. Adley said, we was playing telephone. Had one of these old hog houses. I run a hose underneath there, and I said, Adley, speak to me. I fill it full of dust. And,
And they're like- but it was Gert.
it was dirt.
But
I mean, I
no,
just filled
yeah.
it full of dirt.
I know Gert with Adley, but with Gert it was water.
Water, yeah, I know that.
But John wasn't trying to be mean. He was just playing. Just a little baby.
Jesus Christ.
But
Poor
you
Adley,
know,
though. I can still see Adley's face like it.
But I think you were really mean to Adley.
No, I was not.
Yes, you were.
Oh, I was, I guess you might say
Yeah,
that.
you were meaner to her than weren't me.
Well, yeah, I used to see Adley be sitting at the table. I'd pinch her, just or stab her, anything. You know, I don't know why it was.
Yeah, because
She just irked me or something. I don't know what it was when we was kids, you know. Oh, whatever.
I tell you, you really were a
But anyway,
character. So,
then after we grew up a little bit, we got along, you know.
but yeah, it seemed like our life changed though after Johnny came home from the service. Don't you
Well,
think, John?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it really got different.
Well, yeah, and the kid, then all of you guys are gone already whenever.
Well, I was.
When I got out of the service?
Right, I was gone, but of course, but it seemed like when I came home, Mom and Pop butchered more meat, didn't they?
When they what?
They butchered more when you came home from because you
Well, I
guys
did-
grew up
Yeah.
and you needed more
meat.
protein.
We'd go out in the hills and just shoot the damn things. And
Yeah, it's
couldn't shoot the animal, shoot a deer or something. Well,
because
everybody did.
when we were growing up, Pop would bring home a 100-pound sack of brown beans. I mean, that was good food, you know. We had a lot of beans, we had a lot of oatmeal. Mom cooked it in a great big
A big old pot
kettle
of
like
potatoes.
this. But she cooked her oatmeal with milk, you know, in the morning and stir it. And I hardly ever ate oatmeal, but I would drink coffee with cream in it and bread and butter. And that's what I had for breakfast going to high school. I love coffee and cream.
I don't like oatmeal even till now. I do eat it now because
Oatmeal?
Yeah.
You eat it now because you're supposed to.
I put brown sugar in, I put raisins in, I put sunflower seeds in it, and I put.
I eat it because it lowers your cholesterol, John.
The what?
It lowers your cholesterol.
It does? Oh, that's
Yeah.
whatever I do.
Whatever you like, huh?
Anyway, it's been a while since I've had my cholesterol lowered. That's right, Sharon. But anyway.
What else did you think? Did you think we had fun when we were kids?
Well, I don't know. Yeah, I come think about it, we did, but at the time we didn't think we had any fun. Well,
see, I'm just the opposite. I thought our life was fun.
Well, sometimes I thought it was, sometimes I thought it wasn't. I wish the damn poor was worse than church mice, you know. Hell, we didn't have shit.
Yeah, but we didn't know it though, did we?
Oh, I knew it. What do you mean you didn't know it?
I didn't think, well, it never affected us.
Oh, I know that. But it was poor in hell. We was so damn poor we couldn't even...
But everybody was poor.
Well, that's right. Everybody was poor. It's very true. You know.
Everybody was
Mama would make us lunch in those little half-a-gallon syrup pails or something. That was our lunch bill. And she couldn't bake bread with the shit. It'd all be just crumbs. Put fat on her bread.
Harold loved her bread.
I don't care if she didn't know how to make it till later on in years. So it didn't matter.
Do you remember me baking bread?
I don't know. You might have done it when I was gone. Yeah, I remember you sort of. I don't know. But anyway, Mom couldn't. I'm sorry to say, my mother could not bake bread. Not worth shit. Not earlier. So, but you know, that was just one of those things. I always thought you get bought bread as a treat. It looks so damn nice, but it wasn't worth a damn, you know.
Tell us a little about the service. That always comes up.
The what?
About the time you went into the Army.
What about it?
Tell us about it.
When I went into the service?
Into the service. You went into it. What happened? You were there and you came home. All we know is that you were taken away and then you came back. Everyone was so happy when you came back, but what was it like for you? What was the service like?
To be in the Army.
To be in the Army.
What was it? Oh, I was homesick. Oh, it was terrible. It was terrible being in the service.
So you did have fun with your life if you were homesick?
Yeah,
Well, no, you get homesick even if they treated you bad at home. You always get homesick. Don't you get homesick?
No.
Oh, I bet you did. No, but anyway, no, I went to the service. So I went into service in California. And then went to basic, and then went from there to Seattle. Then I hitchhiked home one time and got. I'd always never did tell Mom I was coming home. I'd always hitchhike and then walk in on them or something, you know.
And when we were on our honeymoon.
Yeah, them assholes. Her and Harold come up to see me, and I was AWOL. That's the only way they found out that I was AWOL. AWOL means absent without leave.
Because Harold and I went on our honeymoon, and we took this long trip and went up to see John.
Yeah.
And he was AWOL.
I was gone.
He crawled under the fence. Isn't that something?
Yeah, that's the only way they caught me. You know, I checked back. I had to go see my girlfriend uptown, see. I come back, and they say, hey, Schaffeld, they've been looking for you all night. Because my buddies had covered me. They said, where's Schaffeld? We was in training, see. And they said, well, he's down below there. Oh, he's up there. And then he's over here. And then, finally, they just... And I showed up about 3 or 4 in the morning, and it was. They said, I ended up with 7 days hard labor out of that, you know. And then they shipped me to Alaska, and I was there for 4 or 5 months, and then I got my back screwed up, broken. Then I went back to Texas, Arkansas, and then I went back to to Texas for a year, and then I went from there to Korea. The Korean War had started. It was going on for a year whenever I got over there already. Then I went to Korea and become a truck driver, delivering ammo to the front lines. And then on my off-duty hours, we'd get these water trucks, drain the water out of them. We'd go across the 38th parallel and buy these prostitutes, put them in our water trucks, and go across the 38th parallel, make money off of them, and then we'd turn them loose, let the MPs pick them up, give them the Vidoki check and the VD check, and send them back down.
See, John, then you wonder why you always got kicked out.
Well, I didn't get
Everybody-
kicked out of the service. No, I didn't. Another time, I was getting stuff from the black market. I was on TDY with a truck on temporary duty. So I backs into this cave. Here's a cave, you know. I was selling my tires off my truck. And here was the CID watching me over there, the counterintelligence agent. And I had these tires in the back. Then they come, oh, pretty quick, our whistles are blowing, sirens, and they said, "Where's your tires, soldier?" I said, "I never had any." So what the deal was, they come in, looked in this cave. It was plumb full of tires. They couldn't prove that it was mine, and it was a month. It was a month before I was going home, and oh, I was so scared. I was scared. I was pooping my pants. I'll tell you what. That's about all. Then after I got out of the service, I was home about a month. Me and Bud Spade got the regular. I started getting all these scars on my head. See?
Boy, do I remember that.
I got in a car wreck with Bud Spade. What we did, we took these two girls out. Couldn't do any good with them. Well, Bud said, let's kick him out and go to Ontario. We just headed for Ontario and tried to make that airport corner at 110 miles an hour and straightened it out. I threw through the windshield. And the car was upside down. The cops took me to the hospital. We didn't get no ticket out of her. Then,
You lived a charmed life, John.
oh, I
You really
know.
did.
Oh, well,
You really
probably did, yeah. Anyway, that was the beginning of my career here, you know, after in the service and out in the farm, you know. And that's what then I went to the sheep camp, and then I went to mining in Nevada, and then I went to logging in the woods, you know, but then I always come back to the farm, you know. Then I decided, well, I better stay. And then end of the story, I got married and lived happily ever after.
Yeah.
Had a bunch of ankle biters, okay. But that's about it for me. Is that good enough?
You're good. Mary, what was it like when John would come home from the service? Because he talked about.
Well, we spent a lot of time together. Of course, by then I was married, and
Yeah.
John.
Yeah, she got married while I was in
married.
Yeah, and so well, we lived here at Jamieson, and I remember John came over to where Ruth and Dudley lived. And I remember, and Harold.
Yeah.
They hung his pants up on the derrick, and John, everybody picked on John, didn't we? Everybody picked on him.
Sort of.
And
They were picked on steer too, though. Poor Paul got a lot of picked on.
first Joe lived with Harold and I.
Yeah, Joe lived with you and Harold, yeah.
He lived with us when he was a senior in high school,
Yeah.
and because he had rheumatic fever, and I don't know why he lived with us. Because he wanted to, I guess, didn't he?
What?
Joe must have wanted to live with us for some
Oh.
reason, because he was going to school, and I remember he took a girl home one time, and I was going to take a picture of her, and I was sneaking around the house, and it had rained, and it was just dirt up there. It was just an old shack, like a 3-room shack, just like this, and we had a gunny sack there to wipe our feet off, to go into the house. So I snuck around and was kind of down. I was only in my early 20s, of course, and probably a couple of kids by then. And then I was getting ready to take the picture of Joe kissing that girl. She was bringing him home, and he picked up that gunny sack and threw it at me, and it was wet. And
Joe did.
he hit me, right? It was funny. But here I thought I was being really sneaky, and go take a picture of it. But the boys, they've been in our house a lot, though. We always had, Joe would always bring his colleagues.
Do you remember that time you had this your babysitter, Betty Watt? No, not Betty. No, this babysitter that Pete and I come home. Pete come home on leave, or no, I just got home and Pete was ready to go to the service or something. And I was going with this nurse over there.
Yes.
And Pete had took your babysitter out. And shit, they weren't getting along. I wasn't getting along with this woman, the girl I had. So I told her, I said, I just told Pete's girl, I just snuck out the back with her. We took off. I left my girlfriend sitting there with Pete. Oh, it pissed him off, of course. And whenever we end up married, and Pete was waiting for me, we'd argue on. And he hit me through the goddamn window of the car, just boom, just. And I said to Pete, and that's when he was engaged to Barbara at the time. I said, I'm going to tell that woman of yours.
Now, are you sure he was engaged to Barbara?
You better believe it. I remember that. Oh yeah.
But you know, I was wondering.
Oh yeah, he was in Seattle then, see.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
But you know, one of the most interesting stories, though, I think, is Ted and Betty's romance.
You mean about the horse deal?
The horse deal when they took.
Oh
her.
yeah, see, Pete took Betty horseback riding. So we all decided to go dress up like bandits and rob them. And we couldn't get them. We couldn't find them out in the hills anywhere. And they finally got them on the road here. And Ted had a ring on. A star ring. I don't know, he grabbed Betty or something, jerked her off the horse. I don't remember much about it. But Betty remembered that ring on the guy that took her off. Took the horse away. We took the horses away from him and made them walk. Is what we did.
Well, she actually thought that they were real because they reported it to the sheriff.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how funny it was.
Yeah.
That's how honored they were. But of course, they married her, you know.
Well, see, that was when we was all in high school.
Yeah. See, and I was long gone, so I was.
Well, Betty was our teacher. Betty, not mine, but you taught Pete Adley.
See, of course, she came after.
And then her and I played hooky together. Went to the Hawaii Dam. That's after we got all acquainted, you know.
Yeah.
Me and another guy, Buck Yoshikeni and I and Betty went up and played,
Nice.
skipped school and went to the Hawaii Dam. And she was the teacher.
Well, you know, the teachers.
Oh yeah.
When you look back now, you know, the teachers that we had, they turned out to be our best friends.
Oh, yeah.
Growing up, you know, I mean, I wouldn't, you'd never think that.
Remember old Lady Spurbeck? I'd grab her, hold her, and then the guys that, oh Jesus, she was a little Nazarene girl. She wore long socks. She didn't weigh 100 pounds. And she was our biology teacher. She'd take her out on the field trips. That poor girl didn't have a chance. She had a nervous breakdown. I think. She didn't teach anymore the next year.
I had fun in high school. That was one of my funnest times.
Well, I'm done.
All right.
You getting that bullshit?
Yes.
Okay.
Great job.
Did you get Joe and Emma?
You're on.
Probably, Collette, Joe and I are probably in 3rd, 4th grade maybe, or even younger. And we were assigned to use this Fresno, or one very similar, to move some dirt. Go ahead, Joe.
And the two of us had to work it because we couldn't drive the horses and run the Fresno at the same time. So Steer would get a hold, he would drive the horse, and I had to run the Fresno. And then if we filled it up too much, Steer would have to help
Both
me
have to lift it.
dump it, you know, to level out the land. And as long as we did that, Papa thought we were doing okay.
And it was right over, just on this side, the other side of the cottonwood trees, out in the little draw.
And, we're trying to level up.
Trying to fill up a little hole.
Trying to level that land.
And so let me see that Fresno thing. Is that
This
Fresno?
doesn't have any handles on
No,
it, but
it
had to have a.
That's right.
You had to have handles to
Two handles to pick it up.
Okay. Oh, and there's a cream separator there too, Joe.
We're on.
Okay, we're out here in the pasture near the barn. We spent a little bit of time in that barn milking cows, Joe. How many cows did we milk?
You know, I tell you what, milking cows. We started milking cows. I first started when I was in about 4th or 5th grade. Just started milking one or two. Well,
I think it was earlier.
Well,
I think we had to milk before we were in the 4th grade.
well, I probably so, but it's only been a few years back, and the older we got, the more we had to milk. And I know, and then once we got into high school, I had to milk 5 every morning before, and if I didn't milk them, I stayed home. Papa said, well, if you don't finish the milking, you stay home and work.
Boy.
And that, so
Boy.
we decided to, you know, you do the milking, and if you didn't do the milking, you were, you know, then you stayed home and work, and you said, hey, it's a lot better to go to school.
A lot better to go to school.
Yeah,
We had a
so-
milking machine when I don't know what they had when you got sick, but we never hooked it up until I was, well,
You
until the
graduated.
girl started milking. Your mom never did, of course, Collette.
Yeah.
But Gertie and Fran had to milk, and Papa said, I want you to quit football. And the girl said, no, Papa, will milk. So I did that. But he finally hooked up the milk machine, and we got, it was so much better. And we really gave the girls a lot of guff, but we didn't when they started helping us out.
That's right.
And we got to play all the sports, and the girls didn't get to play any in those days, but they made sure to hitchhike home every night, had to come home and milk the cows. Next morning, had to milk the damn cows, and it was all kinds of stuff.
And I think the biggest reason we played sports, so that we had to stay in late. The cows were milked most of the time at night, but in the morning,
No, they weren't. They
well,
weren't milked.
you know,
There were
sometimes
times,
we were late,
Mhm.
did not get home, and so then they had to milk. But every time, you know, we had a chance, or we got a ride, we had to milk. But in the morning, it was a for sure thing. There was no doubt.
If we ever got a chance to stay in town, couldn't get a ride home, we took that opportunity to say, can't get in. We stayed at Omen's house. Remember?
Sorry.
It was a different people. There were
Yeah.
different people that let us stay, and then we didn't have to worry about coming. And then we didn't have to milk in the morning. Yeah. But there were a lot of times, and that's, you know what? I'll bet you that's why John went out for boxing and being a cheerleader all at the same time.
That's
So he
right.
never
had to
come.
milk.
Never had to milk.
Yeah.
John, he must have been
He
smarter than the
thinks-
rest of us.
You wouldn't know it.
Yeah,
but-
damn.
You wouldn't
That's
know it
gotta be
today,
it.
but he did it. So you know,
And of course, John didn't like girls, so that isn't why he was a
but he
cheerleader.
wanted to be a cheerleader so he could get next to him.
He was pretty good one, if I remember right. Yeah. Well, as we were walking out here, I saw that old cream separator under the deal by the Fresno, and we used to dump that milk in, and then you'd have to crank, and the cream would go out one way, and then we'd haul the cream to the road, and then pretty soon, after the co-op got started a lot better, then we shipped the whole milk,
the
and
whole
we'd
milk.
carry those 10-gallon milk cans out the road, and I can remember just trying to carry 10-gallon in each hand, and that's at least 85 pounds, isn't it? Plus a can, and god damn, I tell you what, that was hard work. Had to carry that to road, and of course, I was the weakest one, so I got hollered at a lot, and they hurry up, so I'd carry one can out, and then you'd always bang your knees, and if you carried two, you could keep them from hitting your legs.
Yeah.
Remember that?
And
Boy, they'd bang, those cans would bang on your legs, and that hurt.
I got so I could carry two, and that's what I blame my bow-leggedness on. All that weight on my legs wore my knee joints out. And
Yeah.
so I mean, if it hadn't been for those big milk cans or the 10-gallon cans, I would have been all right.
Well, I got bow legs, and I don't remember, Joe, that the milk cans.
They
I don't
did
think.
it well.
I don't think the milk cans were doing.
I
I think
think-
Papa. Maybe that's where Papa got the bow legs from.
Well, I think he did too, but then he
didn't get it
made
from
me
riding
do it
horses.
too, made us do it.
But we did. We had the opportunity to do lots of hard work, and you know what? I don't regret a minute of it. I don't regret having to come out here. I don't regret getting beat up by my older brothers. I never had it coming, of course, but I tell you what, it was a great life.
It
You know,
it
and
never
then-
happened.
and then
if
every once in a while-
it did happen, Mama would beat us up.
And then every once in a while, Joe and I'd get together, and we'd get John and Pete,
Yeah.
and then we'd get other people to help us too. And
Yeah.
we'd get the neighbor, had John spread out in the car,
Tied him
tied
up,
down,
yeah.
and then they'd be chasing us. And there was an old derrick out here, and they had me upside down on that. And God dang that! But it wasn't that bad. It was really good. And probably one of the worst things that was most embarrassing is when those three little girls, your mother and those other two, would gang up on us one at a time, the three of them, and attack. I tell
And then
you
we
what,
had problems.
I
We
tell
had
you what, they
solids,
did. They weren't. If one at a time you could get it, but when the three of them came at you at once, you're dead meat.
that was a
Because
problem.
you couldn't hurt them, because I mean it wasn't fair, you know. I mean, but boy, they'd get you down and kind of pull your hair. It didn't make any difference what they did, and you knew that you didn't mess with the three of them. You know.
They were tough. I don't know.
Hey,
They're still
Joe,
that
look
tough.
at that granary.
I
Remember we used to play in that thing?
Playing
Do some
that thing
dumb things in there.
full of grain.
We did.
Oh,
Well, I remember. I think we probably smoked a little bit in
We
there.
did.
Mama caught us smoking in the haystack.
no, that was the
back
straw
out here,
pile.
straw
there.
pile.
Yeah,
There was a straw pile
right here.
back
And Gert
in here.
told on us.
Somebody told
Yeah.
us, and Mama come out. And we're sitting in there, and we read this
We're
paper,
rolling our
rolling
own
our own,
cigarettes,
lighting them up, and she says, "What you boys doing?" Nothing. And I really don't know how we didn't burn that damn haystack
I
up.
don't
We
either.
took off running, and she's got a stick, and she said, "You'll come back here now.
yeah.
If you don't come back, I get you double at dinner time." And she knew we were going to be there for dinner. So we stopped. Halt deine Hand auf. Bah!
That was
Halt deine Hand auf. Did your mom ever say anything about
Yes.
it? And she'd hold it, and then you'd try to time it, so when she hit that with the stick, you'd drop your hand and if you did it too quick, you got it again. So you really had to work on the timing. Ah, dang. But she caught us.
And I tell you, I was mad at Steer one time, and Pop and Steer was on the wagon, and they were getting hay, and I threw a rock. I threw a rock at Steer's, hit him on the head, you know, and tried to come close to his head, skim one off his head, and I got in trouble with that. But this time
Did you hit Pop?
he was going down the road, and Steer had done something. I threw a rock, and it hit Pop right in the back, and he said, "God darn doggone all." He said, "I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you when you come home." And I said, "Oh, gee." and I mean, he was going down, and I hid all day. Finally come in about 8 o'clock that night. You know, I just hid around, and because I knew he was laying for me, and you know, I threw the rock, and I could throw pretty hard, and I was throwing it at Steer, and missed him and hit Pop right in the back.
Oh,
I thought I was dead.
I get you. I'll get you
Yeah,
later.
yeah.
Remember when we put the nails on the
On
railroad track, and the section hand came down. They cleaned it up. And this was during the war. And we're getting ready to get on the bus, and we put these little nails that had numbers on them, and then we try to get them flattened out. Not the spikes, but regular nails.
They were
And the
about this
bus
long.
was coming, and the railroad guys had stopped, and we were standing there waiting for the bus. And he said, and I remember the guy said something. And Papa says, "Hey, you boys, did you put nails on the road?" And the bus pulled in. We jumped on, and I can hear him saying, "I get you when you get home." And I don't know whether he remembered it or not,
No,
but
he didn't.
boy,
He didn't.
I
Well,
tell
but
you,
we were
all
scared all day
day at
long.
school, all day at school. Oh God, we're gonna get. But you know, I never did find those nails. Did you ever get any of those flat nails?
No.
The train had either knocked off.
But some of the neighbor kids told us what to do.
Yeah.
And so we took out a lot of nails, put them on there, and the railroad section men would come along, they hit bumps,
And they'd clean them off, see.
and they would say, and then they told Pop, you know, we were Germans and we were trying to sabotage, that people think we're
That's
trying
them,
to
yeah.
sabotage the railroad. And so, oh man,
Wasn't that Floyd Dutton?
I don't
I think he was a section.
He
hand from
was a
Brooks.
section.
And he was a
Yeah.
good man, and he said he knew Papa was a good man, and
Yeah,
he knew
yeah.
that
He
we were
did,
trying.
but-
But boy, I guarantee
scared
you, there
us
was,
enough.
There was. I don't think there were any more nails
No,
on
I-
the railroad track trying to get flattened out.
I
You know,
know
some
there
people put pennies on it. Hell, we didn't have a penny to put on the railroad
No, we
track.
spent
I
that.
mean, if we got a penny, it went in the pocket. It didn't go on the
It went
railroad
for-
track.
It went for gum or candy. Yeah, that's
So
for sure.
yeah, that was pretty neat. You know, we used to didn't be
Let's
out
see,
there.
what else did we?
You know, we did have some times that we did play football and baseball
We
and all that
played
stuff.
football and baseball. Had a great time in high school and
Yeah.
great fun. And
Everything.
and
was,
it couldn't have been better. And you know, to fight with all the sisters and not fight, but you know, sometimes fight because they would always tell mom. And one time I don't know if I told this in the story, but Gert was she had done something, so I chased her, and she ran into the toilet, you know, the outhouse, and I came in there, and you know, and she was sitting down, didn't have her pants down or anything, you know, sitting down, and she told Mom I was looking at her on the pot, so I got a whipping for that.
she went in there to hide.
Yeah, she went in there to
Oh,
hide, you know,
God.
because I was chasing her, and I couldn't get her. And then she told Mama he looked at me while I
was gone to the bathroom. Oh man.
so,
Well, that was probably just one time that we weren't.
well, I know, but still, I mean,
That time you're
yeah, I
innocent,
mean,
yeah.
that was total
yeah.
innocence, you know, on that, because I knew the consequences. But
Oh, I tell you.
you know, so
It
we
was-
had some.
You
It was
guys are
good.
very athletic.
Well, I don't know whether we're athletic. We worked hard.
We were wannabes.
We
Yeah.
wanted to be
We
athletic.
loved baseball,
We
boxing,
played all the
wrestling,
sports.
football, whatever it was.
And you know, sure, I guess we were, but
and-
we worked hard at being athletes. We
and
really
then
did.
we'd do it here at home
Yeah.
too. You know, so-
Before Joe got sick his senior year with his rheumatic fever, we were both trying to be catchers, but I knew he was going to be the catcher, and we stepped off out there where the cars are parked now, and we'd got the distance, and we'd throw the ball from him, we'd get there, and then throw to second base. That's the way we played catch. We'd get in our catcher stance on both ends,
Both
and
sides.
we'd throw, try to snap. And then he got sick. See, and I was going to get to play outfield or third base or any other position. And then he got sick. Well, then I ended up catching, you know, my junior year where he should have been, and he didn't get to. And then every time in the story, and I've written, you know, I'd go in there and tell Joe everything that happened in baseball and this and that, and all the different things that, you know, that happened, and that year, my junior year, I was walked, God, I don't know, more than 50% of the time. And so I said something, and Cameron says, "Well, God damn it, that's because they think you're Joe."
he did.
I don't know, Cam, or Rana, I think Rana said that. I said, "Yeah, but shit," I said, "What's my batting average?" And I had a real good batting average, but I didn't hit very hard, but I got the ball over, and God, I tell you, it was, you know, things were really good. And then poor Joe, he's laying in that damn bed, and you know, and every day,
guys would come in.
every
see
day
me,
we'd come
and,
in there. You know, somebody didn't have to give him, you know, the med. Of course, I mean, Mom, you know, I mean, he wasn't alone, but you know, I got to stay out there and play in the dirt and the rain and the hot sun. And
Yeah, and it was. I tell you, it was tough staying in there because, you know, they were gone doing their thing, and a lot of times I'm in there, everybody's working, everybody's gone to school, and I'm in there by myself, you know.
Yeah, that's
and
tough.
Mom and Pop did their own thing, and I'm laying in that bed, and I'm thinking, what the hell?
yeah, it was
How
tough.
long is
It was
that going to be for the, you know, about,
was
well,
tough.
yeah, from, what, from February or
Well,
March?
no, it's about the
Beginning
second.
of baseball.
You got to play about 2 or 3 games.
Yeah,
And then,
baseball.
but you were sick at that point.
Yeah,
You were
yeah.
sick when you were playing.
But-
and then when you went to the hospital.
Yeah,
And,
then I didn't get out until what, September,
Well,
October?
no, you got out. You were starting to get up right after graduation, because then you went to Boise that summer
Oh,
to
that
go to
summer,
barber
yeah,
school.
yeah.
You went to barber school that summer.
That was
Then-
that was.
When did you start barber school? Well, no. Well, you went to Boise.
That was 50.
Yeah, but you worked.
Oh, yeah, that's right,
You went to
yeah,
barber school
barber
some
school.
after you,
That fall I went.
right, that
Yeah,
fall.
yeah,
Anyhow, and so
yeah.
he laid out 1 year. But so, you know, like I say, you know, I wanted to, you know, I didn't mind catching, but shit, it was so much better. And you know, we had a chance to play against a guy named Harmon Killebrew, and all of you know that he was in the Hall of Fame, and he was from Payette, and he was Joe's age, and you know, run into him every once in a while. In fact, I got to play with Dave Wilcox against Harmon Killebrew.
Oh, did you really?
In a
Yeah,
golf
in
scramble.
golf
In a
scramble,
golf
yeah,
scramble. And Christian was on Dave and my team
Oh,
too.
is that right?
Yeah, we had a great time in Killebrew. He
Yeah,
was talking.
yeah.
He comes over there and he asks how you are every
Yeah.
time I see him.
Because
Yeah, so-
you know, we played against, I've scored a touchdown.
Killebrew handed you the ball.
Killebrew, he was a quarterback, and I was playing defensive line. He handed one of his halfbacks, and I don't know, the halfback.
Joe knocked the halfback down and Killebrew
And he-
said, "Here's the ball."
And he handed the ball
Joe
on. I
goes
said,
in.
and man, I run. I thought I could never. I thought I wasn't running very fast. I thought because, you know, when you're running scared with the football, you think everybody's going to catch you, you know. And
Well,
so-
you only had 5 yards to go, Joe.
No, only 35. but you know, you think that at that
I
point
don't know how far you had to go.
it was 35 yards.
Ah,
I know.
Joe, I thought it was shorter.
Oh well, of
I
course.
know.
You're embellishing it.
No,
You think I am?
but you know, those are some great times.
Yeah.
Then there was another Ontario, your senior year when we played Ontario. They were supposed to really be
Oh,
tough.
they were supposed to kick our
They were
butts.
going to kick our butts.
Yeah.
And this kid didn't want to block it, you know, and they'd say, we had them scouted pretty well. Cameron did a great job of scouting them. So Joe says, they're coming this way, they're going this way, or whatever. And was it Rule or
and
the
Anderson.
Claire, somebody, and they got tired of blocking Joe. They got back and go, I don't want the ball. And then of course we had to play Ashbacker's team, but he was gone after that. But we weren't supposed to beat Ontario, but it
See,
was
they were rated in the state.
Ontario. But we got it.
Rated as
We
the,
got
in the school.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we were a small school, and then we beat them.
Yeah.
And it was a big win for us.
It was a real big win.
Yeah, that was.
Our coaches did a great job getting us ready, and
Quasso and Cameron.
and
Really,
they outcoached everybody else, and
Yeah.
of course, I think we must have played pretty well that day too. But things went pretty well for us. It was great, you know. And then we had boxing at the same time, and then when you were a senior, we started wrestling. We had wrestling and boxing, and I remember one night getting the crap beat out of me in boxing and wrestling. We had an exhibition, and then Joe, he probably beat both of his guys. And then there was one wrestling match when you got beat, and Benny mugged, of course. He goes, Joe, I'm not talking to you anymore. Paul's better than you, because evidently, but Benny knew how to. I tell you what. He was a good man. He was a good man. That Benny, he teased us the time we were little, and he supported us all the way through. We wanted a job. I mean, we'd come home, he'd put us to work.
Right.
I mean, anything he had to do. I mean, they put us to work. Any chance the Mugs were there.
The whole Mogs carried us. Our whole family.
Hey,
you know.
we worked our butts.
No, I know, but I mean, we always had a place to work.
Always had a place to work because they were. I mean, and you know, any place we worked, we did a good job. Papa insisted that you work. We work hard, and if Papa got on the haystack. And then we're talking about Henry Land, and this is the place where Steven's living now. Steve Jerry, they're remodeling. Well, this guy, Papa, and Pete and Joe and I were the crew, and he didn't really want to pay me because I wasn't doing much. So he gave me, I don't know, 50 cents an hour. I don't know what it was. It wasn't very much, quarter an hour, something. I didn't get much. And so then he decided he didn't want to pay Joe either. And so Henry Land kind of looked at Papa, and I'm not sure what Papa said to him. And pretty soon Henry Land said,
Pete
paid,
and John
no, I don't think
went
John,
after. Yeah, they both.
both of them.
Both of them
all
said,
they was
"Hey, he did as much as we
And
did."
then Henry Land says, "Henry, I pay you double."
Well,
So he instead of he didn't want to pay Joe, but I tell you what, Joe did the work, and Henry did, and Papa comes home. Well, it didn't make any difference. Papa
It was
got
all
the money.
gone to him anyway.
We gave our money to Mom and Papa. We worked, and if we got some back, they'd give it. Generally, we gave the money to the family, which that's great. That's just the way it was those days. I mean, they needed the money to feed us, and we handed it to them. And if we got some money coming back, sure, they let us keep some of the money sometimes, you know. Hey, I remember one time I got to keep it if I picked 100 sacks of potatoes, and there was a BB gun in Monkey Ward's or Sears Roebuck. Cost $7. We got $7. It's 7 cents a sack. 100. I got $7, and I got to buy that BB gun. That pump. It was that. I think it was a 20. You had to load them up, and that was. I mean, you know. It was good.
Those were good times.
Every once in a while, you know, they'd let us keep the money. And then there were times when we didn't really work as hard as we should have, and of course, we were told that, hey, you got to work hard. Yeah, and we did.
Yeah, it was, and you know, you think about it now, and you think it wasn't hard work. You know, at that time, you know, it was hard work, but you do it. You think about it now, and everything was fun, everything was good, you know, and you just kind of look back. That's why we always like to come back now, you know, and see if we can recapture some of that. But we can't.
We were talking earlier about Buckingham. We won't mention any of our friends' name that we worked with, but there were very few of our neighbors that could buck hay with us. Very few.
Yeah.
I can't think of.
And they were bigger than
they were bigger than we were, but they weren't.
Yeah.
And a couple of the neighbors and my good friend, he goes, oh, I got to take a nap, you know, and you know, it was hard work, but he wasn't conditioned like we were conditioned, and maybe ours might have been more fear, but I mean, it was good. Papa said,
hey,
Papa said work.
And you damn sure
and
had to work.
we were welcome back almost every place except the day I got fired then in weeding onions.
B over there.
Right over there for Dick Harada. Who was it?
No, I don't know.
And weeding onions. And Adley and Joe and I went over there.
Yeah.
And he said, you could come back. He told Adley and I we were fired or something. And Papa said, what Papa said?
Papa say, hey, if one or two fired, you all fired.
I was so happy to get fired. So he
Because
wouldn't let Joe go back to work.
He wouldn't let me go back because
he didn't want all of us.
if he didn't want all of us,
Yeah.
that was it. You know,
But
which,
see, I don't
that's
think
why
he,
Pop.
I don't think
Pop
he wanted.
was,
I don't
Pop
think he
was-
wanted to fire Adley, but I
Yeah,
don't think he
he-
just wanted to fire me. I think he just
Yeah.
wanted to get rid of me. But
No,
Papa said.
no, he
that's-
said the two.
the two. Okay,
Yeah.
well,
And he said, well, you can come back, but those two can't.
yeah. So yeah.
It was-
So we were over there, and no, I tell you what, that's the best job I've ever been fired from.
Yeah,
Weeding
no.
onions. Oh God, dang it.
Yeah, that's-
Weeding onions. I mean, it. You know, nothing but bend over and. Oh.
That
Yeah.
whole, even any time you did the onions or thinning beets, or everything was. And one time, Pop, when I was younger, he had me picking or helping him top beets, you know, and he would top the beets, and I was helping him, and stayed home from grade school one day, you know, and he thought I was Pop said, boy, you did good. And I said, I don't know if I want to do good anymore. Because then you know, you got a chance to stay home and work, you know. And I said, hey.
Papa probably was the best beet topper in the Valley. Lee Barnes was telling me a story. Ray was here today, and everybody knows Lee Barnes. He's Mary's age.
Yeah.
And Lee said, Henry told me, he telling everybody at the golf course, he said, Henry said, you get that beet, you pick that beet up, you grab it, and you take one chop and you throw it. He said, Lee, he said, you go whack, 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 whack. He said, like this, whack, throw. Yeah. He said, and you got it like, he said, and that's all you got to do. And Lee says, he said, I tell you, he said, that dad of yours, he said he could top more beats than anybody.
Hey, everybody wanted to hire him.
Chet Barnes.
Chet Barnes.
I think it was Chet Barnes. You know.
Well, and he could.
Yeah.
He was tireless that way. He was bent down, never had to get up. You know.
Do you know how he paid for the water on this place?
Doing that.
No. Digging a ditch up here, because when he was a ditch rider, there was a ditch. He cleaned it by hand instead of a trencher.
Oh, is that?
He dug for it was part of the reclamation, and he shoveled that ditch by hand, and that paid for the water. See ya.
Yeah, but he paid for this place by topping beets.
Well, he paid for the place, but I'm talking about the yearly water supply.
Oh, I see.
He paid for this place by topping beets,
Yeah.
but then he had to pay water assessment every year. And when he was ditch rider and I was living in Nessa, you know, I'd go ride with him. And it was up here along the canal here, between Muggs and Scott's, and I don't know who owned the land. He says, see that ditch? It's the one right there under the hills.
Oh, I see.
And he says, I shoveled that clean. He said to pay for the water for this property, so that he'd have water. You know, and that's the way Papa did. I mean, it was
He wanted, we could never be as hard a worker as he was.
and then of course Mama was right there by his side if we were pitching hay.
Boy,
And
she
she'd
could-
bring food, she'd bring sack of water, and she'd go out there.
Leckerwasser.
Leckerwasser.
That
You know
vinegar
Leckerwasser?
water.
Vinegar water.
Yeah, Leckerwasser.
And that's what.
And
that's
that
what.
was
Isn't
it.
your dad? Doesn't your dad drink some of that?
Oh, I do.
You do.
I do every day.
Do you? I don't. But I tell you what. You put that in that water sack and you drank it. And
Yeah,
it kept you from.
it was the vinegar. Yeah, and it cleaned you out everything.
Well, I don't know about that. I was
That's what
pretty.
they say.
I was pretty clean anyhow, Joe.
Oh,
look at it.
steer.
But
Well, hey,
there
we
were so-
ramble on
How
a
many
long
more
time.
stories do you
Yeah.
want?
Any more
Hey,
stories?
you know, and then Joe and I got to go to college together, but he waited a year for me,
Yeah.
and then
That's
and,
when I
and
had
that
the
was-
rheumatic fever.
and then we went to school there. He went to barber school, and so he would cut my hair, and I'd have to clean the barber shop. And
I worked in
then
barbershop
we'd-
there.
barbershop, and then he'd cut other people's hair. Then we'd go do something else. It didn't make it. We always went back to the dorm and studied, though, of course. And then the second year was our demise. That's when we went downhill, because that's when we met our other brother Daryl.
He came
Other
to school
brother
in
Daryl
Boise.
joined us then, and I tell you what a godsend. He's a good one.
But we had, and earlier we ran around with John Egan.
Yeah.
I ran around with John Egan, Sid Hyatt,
Yeah.
and John Egan, and he joined the church because of Steer and I.
John Egan and I played on the same side of the line. Joe and Sid Hyatt were on the other side of the line, and Egan. So then Egan came to Boise, and he worked
He was
for an undertaker.
but
when
he
I
was
teaching,
a little bit after.
he was
after us,
and
yeah.
I tell you what, we've been.
And
we've
so
been-
Egan, he's still around.
Yeah.
And
Mom and
Daryl.
Pop are his godparents,
Is
and
that
their
right?
confirmation godparents.
Is that right?
I think so. Yeah.
Well, and because he was running around with us, we ran around in school together, and then he joined
Well,
he-
his stepdad
his
was.
stepdad too, but
but-
he got involved. And
But he asked him why he joined the church. Because of us.
he did, though.
That's
He
right, yeah.
admits it
That's
right
right.
now.
Yeah.
He did.
Because his little brother never did join the
That's
church.
exactly right. Yeah. And
And John told me when I don't know how to say this, but like he said, John says one time, he says, people say that you can't pick your family, you're born in them. He said, no, I picked mine.
that's
And,
right.
I mean,
He
he
says
wasn't
that,
knocking
yeah.
his
No.
other family, but he says, I picked this family.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
John's really, really a super guy.
Yeah, sure. Well, and those guys still now,
Yeah, well, I mean, Daryl and
They
like
come
I
in.
say,
This
we
is
brought
part of
him
their
out
family.
here, and then Daryl's going to talk about when Mama adopted him, because
Yeah.
when she was dying, he and Daryl, she said, Daryl, I adopt you, because his mother had died when he was 4 or 5 years old,
Yeah,
something like that.
that. And-
So he never had a mother.
And then one time when he came in, I brought him home, and he said, "Hey Joe, the old lady wants you."
Oh.
And she said, "What you say?" He says, "Oh, God." He said it scared the hell out of him. He says, "Mrs. Schaffeld." Yeah, I'm sorry. And he says, man, he said, I still remember that now.
Yeah, I
to
don't
this
remember.
day, yeah. He was talking about it.
Yeah.
And he said, it scared the heck out of me because she didn't want to be known as old
no.
lady.
But you know what? We didn't know. Nobody called Mom and Papa or
Yeah.
old man and old lady.
Yeah, it's just Mom and Papa.
Mom and Papa.
But he said he slept and made a mistake.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it can feel
Come
it.
on, the gate's open. So, so like I say, then things, and like Joe mentioned earlier, coming home is really, really important to me. It is.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
It's a,
And
there's stories
we come
from.
pheasant hunt, deer
Yeah,
hunt, we
yeah.
do, and then just to talk to everybody, and to see what
it's
and
great.
the family is good, and not everybody always agrees, but the family is still together. They all come here, which is good. You see so many families that this one won't talk and that one won't talk, and everybody talks, so. They come and see each other, so I think it's good. I
When
think it's important.
Yeah, we went to the cemetery and talked to Mom and Papa today.
Yeah.
And I was going to say, Mama, these guys don't know how much you took care of me. And I was going to tell her, if I'd have known that you left me in Brogan today, picking on me, you know. I went with him to Brogan, and he left me in Brogan. I thought the abuse that, you know, they picked on me all these years was over, but no, it happened today. I think don't let him respond.
Mama, I'm having a hard time. Mama passed away, and Steer, it hurt Steer because he had no more protection.
Hey, I couldn't say Mama passed away for over a year.
Yeah,
I couldn't.
know.
Hey,
Oh, we're just
we love
about
you.
there.
We love everybody.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks
Bye-bye.
a lot.
Night.
Appreciate it. And
Have a good day.
And I still love Steer.
I do too. See ya. Turned it off.